Hey everybody, thanks for joining us this evening. Hope you had a great Wednesday. Ready to get Thursday started. Not too sure what time it is where you guys are at, but it is late here as usual. Perfect time to kind of analyze the markets. So I'm just going to pull up real quick here a brief reminder of what the rest of the week looks like. I'm sure you guys already know this, but today, so where are we here? We are Thursday, midnight, almost anyway. Not a ton happening in the economic calendar. There are a few things. There's some Canadian dollar news, which should be fairly influential. Usually when the governors of Bank of Canada governors speak, they tend to move the price around a little bit. A couple of euro events throughout the early mid-morning, I guess that would be 7:45 and 8:30 a.m. The ECB press conference, minimum bid rate. So there's going to be a little bit of fluctuation happening in the markets tomorrow, or I guess today, technically Thursday. So we're just kind of looking at this as more of a. So here's the thing about trading the day before non-farm. So obviously Friday being the big news event. Where is it? Down here. Average hourly earnings, non-farm, unemployment rates, Canadian dollar, lots of news here, manufacturing production. So there's quite a bit of news happening on Friday and tends to jar the markets pretty good. Now I'll go back up. I'm just going to kind of run back through and have a couple peeks at some of the examples of what markets have been doing in past non-farm events, so you can kind of gauge it. And more specifically, I want to look at the Thursday prior on some of the major crosses. Not too many, just one, two, or three of them, just real quickly. And I just kind of want to show you sort of what trading looks like the Thursday prior, and then the Friday, just to kind of gauge sort of what day Thursday is going to be like. Yes, there is some news happening that could drive the market. Some euro news, obviously, like I said, and some Canadian dollar news. And then towards the end of the day, and it's tentative right now, so they could move this anywhere in here, even in the morning. They've got some fairly big news rate announcements as well too. So more than likely what's going to happen before all of this big news comes out on Thursday and then on Friday is markets will tend to sit sideways until the news has come. So we'd love to just trade Monday to Friday, every single day, every waking hour of the day if we could. But there are some days, and you can do that, but there are some days that just unfortunately are not conducive to trading. The 2 days of the month are the Thursday before non-farm and non-farm the Friday. So just to kind of, and like I say, this isn't going to be real long. I'm just going to drop down to an hourly. I'm going to open up the calendar, and I'm just going to go back, and non-farm is always the first Friday of every single with the exception of last Friday, I guess. Most of the time it's the first Friday of every month. But I'm just going to go back a couple of months and just kind of give you an idea of sort of what the day looks like. So we haven't hit Wednesdays yet, March yet. So the first day, non-farm day, would have been February 1st and 2nd. And if we go back to February 1st and 2nd, we had a big price fluctuation right here. So this is the non-farm day, fairly large price. And this is the USD. I don't want to talk about the USD. I want to go into an actual pair that you trade. I could be wrong on these dates too. I'd have to double check. But I think, you know what I'm going to do? Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to pull up an exact calendar so I can bring it up. I'm just going off of my clock calendar. and on my computer, and sometimes it doesn't always technically fall on the first Friday of the month. It normally does, but like as you can see here this week, it's not falling on that week. Okay, here we go, January. Okay, January 5th, non-farm payrolls. Let's go to January 5th. Might help if I took that off. One second, guys. I got an echo here. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. I had another window open with the stream. It's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, so just, and again, I'm just gonna take 2 minutes and do this, guys. I don't want to take too much time to run through all this. January 5th, non-farm payroll. Look at the market here. Pretty much straight sideways. The market right before, again, sideways. No price movement. This was the whole week of trading. You can see here. Price pretty much consolidated and chopped in a 40 pip, 50 pip range. Not conducive to trading. Ugly. And then the next day, February 2nd. Where is February 2nd? Right here. Tons of volatility, and look at the price right before the news released. Right, look at this. This is terrible. This is typically what leads up to non-farm. Yes, you could have potentially got into a move here on the Thursday, and this wouldn't have been a bad move. But where is the indicator that the price is going to drop? I mean, it's kind of trading sort of. I mean, yes, it's trading at a high here, but I mean, it just fell out of bed. You could have got lucky and got a short on that position, and you would have got picked up 160 pips, on the day, but not always the most conducive to doing it, unfortunately. And then you can see the price action that happened right before non-farm payroll, and then you got the kind of wild whipsaw of price. And that whipsaw, like let's say you were in here, price runs down, so you get long or short or whatever, and then price runs back 60 pips, in the other direction, and then it drops again, another 150 pips. So pretty ugly trading. So that's another non-farm day. This is the Euro GBP, obviously. I could go and do the CAD as well. I kind of want to see 2017 as well too. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's do US yen. This is a good one. Let's see if there's any wild whipsaw events that happened on January 5th. Okay, January 5th, non-farm. Scroll out a little bit here. There we go. January 5th. Again, price consolidating right before, basically just sitting there and chopping sideways. And again, ugly trading. You don't want to be trading this, and then a wild whipsaw, and then price drops and falls out. February 2nd was the next day, and let's see what price did here. February 2nd, February 1st, February 2nd. Again, market chopping sideways, not really going anywhere on the Thursday. And then one big, look at this candle right here. Just a complete doji. It basically took all the stops below and all the stops above the market, and it was a 40 pip candle. So it moved 40 pips, just going nowhere, and then finally continued higher. So that's that's non-farm payroll. I mean, and again, I don't want to get too into it with too many pairs, but I'm just trying to drive. So what do we got? February 2nd, right here. Whoops, what happened there? Sorry. February 2nd, right here. Okay. Non-farm. Now this was leading up to it. February 1st, right in here, you can see again just sideways, chop, consolidation. They rammed the market down and then powered it right up. So, I mean, I guess technically there could be an argument made that this wasn't necessarily a bad day for trading. And I'm not trying to give you excuses to go and trade non-farm payroll. I'm just trying to find a good example of where, market just really fluctuates so badly that you really don't want to be in the trade. And then January 5th. I'd have to go back a little bit further. Like, look at this. There you go. There's a good example. You think prices prices coming down, kind of hit some support here, you think, and then price pops up like this, you're thinking, okay, let's go long and get in those trade, and they just chop it sideways for, another 6 hours, and then they literally drop the floor on the market. That's 130 pips. More than that, actually. It's 150 pips. Right, so, again, not every single non-farm payroll is going to give you something like this. But the question I got to ask you is, what happens if you are on the wrong side of a trade and it does something like this? Like I say, like some non-farms, right? I mean, you'll get just kind of a muted day. There was a couple of them here that, for example, in January, just kind of or February, it was a fairly muted day. Some nice trading action, actually. But then you look at this, I mean, it's just terrible, right? So you have to be very, very careful with non-farm. It's just, price can literally go any way, and they typically take the stops on both sides of the market before they get to their final destination. So just be aware. It's not a high probability setup, and what we're trying to look for is continuous high probability setups that we trade again and again and again, and that's how you make money and stay profitable in the markets. So that's what we're looking for. Non-farm and the day before non-farm typically don't provide those types of days, so we typically do not issue any signals right before. Now, that being said, if something lines up nicely, for instance, there is a Canadian dollar news event that's happening here, a couple of them tomorrow, that maybe price could present a good opportunity. For instance, if it decides to just kind of sit here and go sideways until those events, and then drop down sharply and just take the stops under here and then run for these highs. Let's see that right up here. See, we've got two equal highs up here on the US CAD. That might be something we could look at, right? That would be of interest to me going forward. So you see price, if I can get a straight line here, which I clearly can't. There we go. No? 1 second. I just want to make sure that these line up. There we go. Pretty close. Okay. So you can see the highs are sitting right up here, and everyone's going short right here, thinking they're going to drop price further, and they could drop it. Another logical area that they might come down is right down to here. See these old highs over here, back to this old consolidation level. There are some very interesting levels in there that could be a draw on price. So tomorrow we could even just get a run up into this small area here, and then price could want to sell off quite a bit. It's almost kind of looking like a head and shoulders pattern a little bit. It's more like a double head and shoulders pattern, and then price dropping out here. But don't expect it to do that. This could be a failure swing right here, and they might just jam price higher because the US CAD has been very, very bullish. You can see this move here. This is a nice bullish move on the US CAD. So they could be taking this much higher, and I believe this area that I have highlighted here is going to be the first area of interest that they're going to get it up to. So this isn't the first you've heard me say this, I don't believe. I would easily say, somewhere in and around here, up to anywhere around 131. And that 40 level is kind of a coincidence. But I would suggest this we're going to see into next week. Maybe the week after. It's still, no, it's not that far. It's only about 200 pips away. So we could easily see this, hell, we could see this on Friday on non-farm if they want to take that up. But you got to be very careful, because you look at this. The price has been pushing up quite steadily on the US CAD for the past little while, and they may want to come back down and run some stops before they go higher. But I am bullish on this pair. I think it is going higher for the next little while, and I think we're going to reach up into here as a short-term target. So we were looking for higher prices on this pair, and we got actually a very good trade on this today. So I'm going to flip over to my other demo account here, and give me 1 second. I'm just going to pull the trade up, and I already had it marked out. We pulled a nice 60 pip trade on the CAD today. We did a live session, and one of my analysts, Dave, he managed to pull out a great trade on this. So this is today. Let me just day dividers. So this was Wednesday's trading. We're into Thursday now. So we were looking at price, stabbed down here, wicked up, and then price came back down one more time, confirmed, started to run up, and we got long in here. And you can see we got a nice 60 pip move in price on this entry. Yeah, right up in here. So just fell short of the highs of the day, but that's a pretty nice haul any day. That's a great weekly range there if you can grab that. So great trade on the CAD, and we were looking at doing this. I was looking at trading the CAD in here. We took a bunch of trades in it last week. And got a little bit chopped up, to be honest with you. There was some ugly price action in here that kind of chopped us up a little bit. However, we got a nice move on it today that more than made up for it. And we were looking for prices to run the 1.300 level, the big figure, which is actually up here, and price just fell short on both occasions. So they like to do that. They like to kind of tease you, thinking, yeah, it's going to run to these big figures, and it doesn't. The previous big figure to that was 129, which is right here, basically. And it did that late last week. It finally got that. That's Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. This was Friday's trading, and it just did it towards the end of the day on Friday. That's the move I was looking at here on Thursday of last week to get in. And we got beat up right on this candle right here, whipsawed down, stopped us out, and it wasn't a big stop out. It was like 15 pip stop out or something. I should have had my stop literally about 2 pips lower, and it would have been fine. It would have ran up, and we would have got a nice run. I think our entry was 90. Let me just double check here. 28 or 27. Let me just think here, guys. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just trying to remember what our entry was. I want to say it was somewhere around here, 25 or so. But we would have got another 70 pip range had we got the highs on the day. And I was actually shooting up to here, so we wouldn't have got that price. Would have rammed back down here, the next candle. I would have had to wait for the next day for the price to finally trade back up. But it didn't. Stop us out on there, small stop. We ended up pulling 30 pips out of it. We took partial profits at 30 pips once price ran up into here. But then they dropped the market out, the floor out of the market, and that's where it went to. So, and then price eventually finally traded up through it, and now we're doing the same thing. We're just kind of, stalling on that pre 1.300 big figure. You can see here, price again. This candle's high came in at. Maybe we did get it on this feed. Maybe it was the other feed that it didn't get it. Open high. Oh, it literally just got it by like almost dead on. It got it on this feed here. This candle fell short though. Yeah, this candle fell slightly short of it though, so it just banged into there. So anyway, long story short, I don't think they're done coming down. I think they may come down a little bit further. There's some areas back here in this consolidation, and potentially this low under here. I think maybe the next area that they might get the stops. So what I'm looking for basically on the CAD is something kind of like this. They may run price up into here, and then pre-news drop it down, take the stops, and then I'd like to see them run it higher. And again, it might take Friday's non-farm to whip it up there. But this is This isn't great price trading in here. This is very, very whipsaw, very consolidating esque, and you can see on the daily how what it looks like. Right, price is just consolidating on it there. Get rid of this. So that's where I'm looking for the CAD to go anyway for the week. And like I say, if we see a signal tomorrow, you know, I'm not totally opposed to taking it. I'm just warning you that typically the Thursday before doesn't always allow great entries for trades. So if you want to get in and out and scalp 20 pips here or there, you know, that's fine. That's always possible. But I'm saying to get a decent trade that's you know, 50 pips and above, you know, it's proves a little bit difficult in these types of times. But I'm going to just run back real quick to the U.S. dollar. Price had convincingly closed underneath this consolidation area that I had discussed earlier on in the week, actually. Closed down there on Monday. Sorry, Tuesday closed down. This was Wednesday's trading. It gapped down a bit and then closed up, and then now we're into Thursday's trading here. And so, you know, the wick of this candle came down and closed to the top of this guy here. The top of this candle here comes in at 89.33, and the low in this candle here comes in at 89.32. So it came to the top of this candle by a pip, basically just balancing out the price range in here. So I'm going to just draw this down into it. You can see that it just reacted off of that perfectly, closed up, and now we're just sitting here. So to be honest with you, I don't know where we're going to go, if it's going to go higher or lower from here. It's almost the exact 50% range on this move as well too, so it's almost right in the middle. You can see 50% range right there. It's actually almost exactly at the middle of the 50% range. Again, could go higher, could go lower. I would like to see this thing go higher personally. I'd like to hopefully think that this was the low. Failure swing came down, rebalanced price down here, and it's going to start trading higher. However, it could just sit there and trade sideways like this for the next couple of days and just wick down and wick up and really not do a whole bunch of stuff, unfortunately. One second, guys. Just gotta write a quick note here. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so anyway, price is just kind of sitting right in the middle. Could go up, could go down. It could do both. You know, it's just too hard to tell right where it's at right now. But not to say that price won't start to make a move here before too long. So I fully expect after non-farm on Friday that price will be established in the intended direction fully by Friday. So rest assured, it's not going to last too much longer. So that's about it for that. Euro USD, flip out to a daily. Price is making a nice move higher. And we kind of came up to this candle here, it failed, and now we're just kind of sitting sideways. You can see the literally the top of this candle almost came into the bottom. The low 124.47, the high 124.43, so missed it by about 4 pips. And now price is just kind of sitting sideways, so we'll have to see how price opens up. I'd like to see them run it down here and then continue it higher. But if the US dollar runs higher, then it's going to fail here and it's going to run back lower. And there is an area down here that I am interested in. This little consolidation area right here at 120.80. You could call it 120.80 right at the top of the candles, somewhere in 120.70, 120.80. Excuse me. 1 second. So yeah, that's what I'd like to see. Long term, again, I don't want to have to rehash this too much, but I'm fairly bullish long term. I think that, this is the weekly. I think we're going to be going higher. But you can see price trades from consolidation to consolidation. Consolidation here, consolidation here. I do think we will break to the upside though. But I'd like to see it come down just a little bit further. Like I say, this one line right here, 120.80, somewhere in there. I think I'd like to see price get down to just quick, tag it, and then rip up. But the opposite may happen. They could just run it straight higher from here. So it's really going to depend, and it's also going to depend on what this pair here does. If I can find where is it now? Just 1 second. Flip back to this. Now, if they're going to run the Euro USD higher, this is the Euro GBP, they're going to have to run it higher into here. It's going to have to take out this red line up here in order to get past those that weekly consolidation that we saw on the Euro. So you see this here. See if I can do something here. Let me just find the Euro. Okay, that's better. Okay, Euro GBP and Euro USD. Okay. So what I'm driving at here is if you look at this, and then you look at this chart associated with it, okay, you're going to have to, I just want to zoom out one, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to zoom out here. Bear with me 1 second, guys. And I need to go to the weekly. Okay, so you can see here that price, like I say, it's just kind of stagnating in this consolidation area right in here. Same one as back here. I think they're going to run it higher, but in order to do that, they're going to have to run this pair higher, this Euro GBP pair higher to do it. And I think if this level, not necessarily this specific level here at 900 big figure, but it could even be up to here and then running up into this area here in order to get up there. So if we see this thing start to break out, we should see price run higher on Euro USD. As you can see here, it's been a nice kind of trending breakout, and you can see here, again, nice trending breakout. Now, let's see if I can get no, I can't. I have to zoom out on another angle, but I was just going to pull up a time frame chart so you can see how prices has really been in a nice bullish move here since basically December. It's same thing ensued right here. Assume this is December. You can see prices nice bullish action right in here. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. And again, if this continues higher, gets past these highs here, then expect the Euro USD to come up into these levels up in here. So that's sort of what I was driving at by pulling all that up. Just so you're aware. Anyway, I am bullish on the Euro USD, but I believe in order for it to get there, I think it may have to swing down first. And like I was saying to you earlier, I think one of the areas that I'd like to see it come down to would be potentially down here, and just sort of wipe out the stops under here as well too. You can see they've done a fairly good job. They grabbed the stops by a couple of pips on this candle here last week and then rammed it higher. I'd like them to see it do a failure swing right here and then come down and basically tag off of this level in here and then continue higher. And that would bring us up into, like I say, these levels up here. So that would be, thank you. That would be a fairly far off time horizon to occur, and it's not going to go straight up there. Obviously, it's going to chop its way up there, but just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm looking at the Euro USD. So I don't think non-farm payroll is going to get this down here. I think this could be maybe next week's trading, and if we see bullish action in the US dollar for next week, again, I'm just kind of go to that quickly. If we see this push higher, I'd like to see price run up into this area in here, that would be a great catalyst to move the Euro USD down into this area here. And then what I'd like to see from there is a big reaction happen. US dollar comes up to here, runs lower, takes out these lows. I have some areas on the weekly right down into here that I'd like to see it go down to. And if that happens, then obviously the Euro USD will be free to run up and pass through here and into these areas here. So that's, again, a very, very long-term horizon. But it'd be nice to see, that's for sure. So if we drive this down a little bit here, I'd also, there's an area right in here. You see this sort of pocket of liquidity voids right in here. There's an area back down in this consolidation where I would like to see price trade down to, and it may not get that far. It may honestly only get to, I'm just going to jump down to a 15-minute chart. We may only get down to right about just sweeping the low here for tomorrow. So there is some Euro USD news tomorrow. Comes in at, there's some minimum low impact at 2 o'clock a.m. New York time, and then there's some high impact at 7:45 a.m. and a little bit more at 8:30. So what I'd like to see for tomorrow is price come down, take out the lows here and here. These are pretty well equal lows. You see these guys here, these are pretty well equal lows. This came down, like I say, a couple pips to grab it, but not very convincing. I'd like to see them drop down one more time. You see you have equal lows here. They typically run those equal lows, just so you know. It's not resistance or support or anything like that. It's equal lows, and people run their stops and put their stops under here, and it's just a liquidity pool for the banks to come in and grab that liquidity. I'd like to see them drop it down. I don't know that they'll get this far down. Like prices right now trading at 124.00, and that's about a 30 pip drop down to there. If it gets all the way down to here, that's even further, obviously. I mean, that's a 40 pip drop. Not totally unforeseeable, but that could be what may happen. I think this level down here is going to get tagged. See that they've done a good job of running it up and then dropping it down and just sort of leaving this area open. They're leaving that area open for a reason, because I think they're going to drop down one more time tomorrow and then run it higher. Now, if price breaks this line here, then my eye goes to right into this small consolidation area here, and if price breaks there, then they're going to start coming down, and you see this area in here. That's going to be the next area that they're going to target, and that's quite a ways away. I don't necessarily think they're going to do that, tomorrow. I mean, they might, maybe Friday. Maybe this is as high as it goes, like I say, and maybe that US dollar comes in and they just start jamming this thing higher and starts to take out this high here. If that happens, then price is going to come back down into this small area in here. So just keep that in mind, that price will probably want to come down to here. And basically take out these lows here and then come into the highs of these candles, if that happens. I don't think that's too realistic. I think the more realistic play is that they're going to want to run this higher, and so I think they're going to want to come down somewhere under here, just somewhere under these lows, take them maybe even to these highs here, drop them, and then run it up into here. Now, this is where it gets interesting to pick the somewhat high of this sort of little range that we've got in here. Just going to bring this up here and get the high on these guys. Highs on these guys come in at 125.54. Oh, that's pretty close with that arrow. 125.55. And that would be a pretty good target. Pretty far away though. That might be more of a long-term sort of non-farm payroll. As in, when I say long-term, like as in end of the week. So what they'll probably do is they're going to chop this price sideways. They're going to go like this until those news events, and here they are right here. See these news events right here? Thursday, this guy here, and then this guy right here. What they're going to do is chop it sideways throughout the London session. You're probably not going to be going anywhere. And then close to those events, I would like to see price start to run down and then those news events trigger, and then they start to jam that thing higher, and then it spends the rest of Thursday, and then Friday may do something like this. It may just, you know, wick, 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 up, down, whatever. But I'd like to hold out, and I'd like to see if these areas up here can get hit. I'm just going to do one thing real quick here. I'm just going to take a fib off of this guy here and see what the price range is currently at. That's interesting. Coming up into the 72. This is a fairly major area, the 72 and 79% retracement level. Fairly significant, interesting. A lot of price reversals happen in these areas as well too, so you never know. The other option is that this is the high. More than likely 79 would actually be the high. So the other option that could happen is they could do the exact opposite. They could come in, run the stops here, come up to this level, and this would be a logical level because it coincides right in here with this small consolidation area, and then they could come down and then they could smash this thing down too. So there is that option, so just keep in mind. And I wish I could be a little, like, this is a nice bullish move up, and I'd like to say, yeah, this is going to continue, and we're going to take out these highs, and you know, everything's all rose-colored glasses. However, the U.S. dollar index is trading right in the middle of this range. So it's literally, like I say, from here to here. It's right at the 50% level. It could go higher. It could go lower. Don't know. We won't know until non-farm news comes out on Friday, and then that will confirm the direction. But rest assured, once it starts moving, it will move, and it's going to take the Euro USD with it. So what's more likely to happen? I'm just kind of talking out loud. That's a 60 pips. And price from, let's say we do get a bit of a rundown. Let's say we just go off the low of this candle up to here. That's 160 pips. And let's say price rejected off of here and wanted to come down here eventually, 250 pips. I'm just kind of talking out loud to myself. I'm assuming you guys know that now by now, but I think that I'd like to see it come higher, regardless of what happens, whether or not price goes higher or finishes higher, finishes lower. I think regardless of what happens, wherever they ultimately want to send the price short term by the end of the week, this 79% retracement level right here is going to get tagged. You know, you could probably even go up to 80. Let me just look at a rate on that. 80 takes us, no, that's too high. You know, 70, call it. Whoops. I honestly believe that this level here will probably get tagged, regardless of, like I say, if they just jam it up here quick and then run it south, or if they come down, scoop these lows, and then run it. This would be the first target for sure, either way, high or low, that I'd watch them to take. And then price, I would want to see if they want to continue through this consolidation area, price is going to go up and it's going to run these highs. So that's going to be your catalyst right there. Regardless, up or down, I think they're going to hit this level right here. This would be a nice trade too. It would get people on the wrong side thinking this thing's going to keep going higher. It's going to be a breakout trade, and everyone's getting long in this. They run it up right here and then jam this thing and just drop the floor out of the market. And that would be what a news event does. That would be what a non-farm payroll would do. You know, the other thing too they could do, I mean, and I'm just kind of searching for options here, but the other thing they could do is this. They could come down. This could be tomorrow, into tomorrow's news. They come down into here. Those news events drive it down, or either that, or it just starts to kind of slowly drift down. It hits down here. News events drive it up to this level here, and then they take it and they just sit there, and then the non-farm events drop it. That could be another option too. So, like I say, it's just sort of sitting right in the range right now, and I'd like to see them take it up here. I mean, again, if you look at it on the daily, I don't, hang on, let me just clean this up here for you guys a bit. If you look at it on the daily, prices come down here once, and it failed to go lower, and it failed to go into here. Like I say, I'd love it if price came down and tagged off this level. I don't know that they're done going lower yet on this pair. I would have liked to see them come down a little bit deeper than that. But price is at an inflection zone right here. This could be the area for a reversal right off of this candle right here. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Right, price may just want to run up to here, just maybe run even 50% into this body here of this candle. And what was that? 50% body of that candle. 1 second, I just want to get one more reading here. So we'll call about an eyeball, maybe right about there. What is that level there? Oh, shocking. 124.75. So right about the consolidation area that I was telling you about right there. Basically what they could do is price could stab up right into there, and then they drop the market down, and basically that would be sort of the last line. If price goes up, trades through that line right there, they're going to go higher. They're going to take these stops up above the market here, and they're going to run higher. If price fails here or here, they're going to drop it lower, expect lower prices to finish off the week. So you know, you got to look though too. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday's trading, the last 3 days, and even Friday and Thursday of last week, they have done a nice job of running this thing higher. That's a nice bullish move. They may want to take some profits and exhaust this swing now. They may not want to take these highs up here. So I don't know. I feel like I was talking myself into this thing going higher, and now I definitely think this area right in here is going to get taken. They're going to come down and run it higher, or they're going to run higher and then come down. But for sure, somewhere down here is going to get taken, and that 79% retracement level on this run as well too is going to get hit. Right, and that's why I say it came right up in this consolidation area. So there's two areas that are going to get hit. You can rest assured. It's right down here and right up here. So that's going to be the euro. Unfortunately, I can't tell you where it's going to go after it hits those levels. But that's what non-farm payroll will do. So what I'm going to do, I am going to take a screenshot of this, and then this. And basically, I'm just calling out these two levels here. I just want to draw attention to here and then draw attention to right here. And it's going to take a quick screenshot because I think that, like I say, I think those areas are going to get tagged, and I want to see it do it on Friday. So, sorry, Friday, it might do it a lot sooner than that. Like I say, that news tomorrow will probably do it. Just want to do this, go like that, done. Okay, anyway, next pair, pound dollar, same type of story, right? Price didn't do anything today. It sat in a consolidation, very tight range. This is actually an ugly trading range that it did here today. I'm just trying to think. Took a couple of shorts on this. I took one short on this, and I think we managed to get 20 or 30 pips out of it. 1 second here. I think it was, yeah, pound dollar. We got 25 pips out of this move right here, and this was on Thursday. No, I apologize. Thursday. What am I saying? Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Mondays trading. Jesus. Trying to get my days right here. I was looking for a setup in here, and I didn't get one. I was looking for price to come up. So price traded in here in this range here, took the stops, and I wanted to get short, but I wasn't in front of the charts when it did this in here, so I was waiting for the retracement. Got the retracement, but it didn't really go anywhere. It just kind of stopped, 20 pips. You know, 25 pips right in here, and I was expecting a continuation lower. I didn't get any of that, and price just, you know, created a support level, artificial support level, and then started to just slowly trade higher, and now we're chopping. Pound dollar probably won't do a whole ton between now and non-farm, just in case if you're a pound dollar trader. May not do a whole bunch, so just be prepared for that. I think all the action is probably going to happen in the euro, and again, just going back to that euro GBP pair, it's usually one or the other that they run, and the other consolidates, just so you're aware. Nice little upwards trend line here, and market makers love to violate these trend lines, get people thinking that these things are always going to act as support every time it comes down here. Buy, 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 buy. And then what they're going to do is they're going to drop the floor out, and they're going to take out all the stops out, and then they could continue higher. But I don't trust those trend lines at all. But this is, again, very, very efficient price action in here. There's no real gaps or voids or anything like that where I think would be a draw on price. The only draw on price I see that would happen would be under this low here, and I'm talking lower in the market, would be under there. Now long term, I'm on the 4 hour here, long term, same type of idea as the Euro USD. There is a very significant level underneath that short-term low rate here, and I think I want to see price come back down to this level here. And again, I mean, it's right, we're looking for a move higher to take out these old Brexit highs right here. I don't think price is gonna rally all the way up to where it is right now and then fail. I think if price was gonna fail, it would have failed at the lows here, or it would have failed right here. I mean, why would they come up and bring it all the way back into here again if they weren't going to continue to take it higher? But I think we could see a bit of a drop, and then it'll run. But like I say, there's really nothing on the cable that excites me too greatly. Again, non-farm payroll will drive it one way or the other, and it'll finally take out the action. It's actually starting to form a bit of a wedge pattern. Again, I don't trade wedges or anything like that. Those aren't, you know, conducive to high probability trades, but, you know, one could say a wedge is forming. Yeah, anyway. I'm just kind of drawing some stuff on the chart. No real relevance, but yeah, these lows right here are definitely suspect, and this whole area right in here I think is going to be a draw on price, so we could even come up into this area in here. You know what, let me just drill in just a little bit. See this small little area of consolidation right here? That, the lows in there, body lows, that right in there might be a significant area for price to want to return to. So what we could see is price continue to run chop higher or do whatever it's going to do and come up into this area in here and then roll over if it's going to do that, or even potentially right up into here. I don't think this one is high probability. Might take out the highs here. There's an area, a bit of a liquidity void in that area there. I don't think if they're going to come all the way up in here, I think then they're going to run for the highs up here. But if they are going to go lower before they go higher, which I'd like to see them do, then up there is going to be suspect. Now it's interesting. The pound is kind of synonymous for not necessarily always returning back to very logical levels. Maybe it was in the pound that I was looking at. Yeah, no, I think it was. Right in here, see it, and what I'm saying is price creates these areas of consolidation, and they always return back down to it. They explode out of it, and then they return back down to it, and then they explode out of it, and then they return back down, and then they explode out of it, and they start to return back down, and they fall short right here. And then same thing here. They pretty much got it there. I was looking for more of a run down there, but I'm hoping that this area in here isn't the same area as we had down in here, because I was waiting to see this move right here, this big move. I was watching price. I wanted it to come down here so bad to get long, and it didn't. It stayed up here, and I mean that's a huge range. I mean there was like a you know, a 50, 60 pip range, 70 pip range from there to there that they did not come back down for. So I'm not saying that they're going to come back down for it. I think maybe that ship has sailed now potentially, but it would have been nice, because that would have been a very nice move. If I could have got a long off here, and this is what I was waiting for right here specifically, the price to come down right into this area here, and I was going to get long, and I was going to bet the farm on it. Not really, I'm just being facetious there, but I mean, look at this. I mean, if you even just got to move back up to here, right? That's a 600, almost a 700 pip move, right? It would have been a 700 pip move if you took the highs out. And then look at this move, a 1400 pip move up to there. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's a very good trade. I mean, if you can get 1400 pips, you know, in a when was that? The price came down. Oh, where are we here? So that was September of last year, and then it finally got back up to this level here in January. So what's that? September, October, November, December. 5 months, not even, maybe 4.5 months. So big swing trade, but that's the type of potential, and that's what I'm looking for. Right, those big mega trades. It's not just day trading and things like that. If you can get in those big mega trades, that's how you make real money trading this game. You know, you can make money all day long doing day trades. You know, coming in and you know, doing like a trade like this where, you know, price drops down, sweeps the lows, wick, reject, and then get a nice pop for, you know, what is that? 400 pips. You know, that's a quite a long move, or a day trade, you know, where you get a nice range of 100 pips or something like that. You know, you can do that, but that typically doesn't happen every single day of the week, right? If you can get one of those 100 pip moves a week, two if you're lucky, great. You know, run it to the bank, quit trading after that. But like I say, if you could get something like this where you got a long off of here, and you got to run like that, you know, or even potentially like that's, you'd have to string together a lot of days of trading, getting those big hits to do that. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. So what I'm saying to you here, guys, is, again, you see price dropping. I think they're going to run it up here. They may even sweep this high here, right? And just keep that in mind. They may want to come. Maybe that's trend line. God damn it. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, one second, guys. Wow. Okay. Let's try this one. Maybe this one will be a little more friendly. What they could want to do, give me this trend line. God. What they could want to do as well, too, is run this high, this old high right here, as well, too. And that, again, that could be the non-farm. I'd say price will come up somewhere into this area here. So that is, and that's a bit of a big range. I will refine that and narrow that down as price comes into it. But that's 139.50 to 140.60. So that's a 100 pip range. So I'll refine that obviously a little bit better when the time comes. But yeah, I believe that that's where we're headed. I think we're going to run up a little bit, and then I think they're going to drop it down. And I'm getting long in here. I do not believe for a second that they're going to come back down lower than really these highs in here. See this little consolidation range? Oh, where is that triangle, rectangle? See, there's a bit of a confluence there. Very strong level of support right in here. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not just going to go blindly buy it just because it touches off of this 136.57 level. Like, I'm not just going to put a long entry in and hope for the best and cross my fingers. Because if price wants to come down lower into this consolidation area in here, you know, that's an 80 pip friggin' drawdown that you'd have to endure. No thanks. Now, if your risk is associated with that and you're doing very small risk in relation to the size of your trading account, and you're looking for, and you can handle a 100 pip drawdown, for example, and you're looking for, you know, an 800 pip run, right? That's like a 1 to 8 or a 1 to 7 risk reward ratio. That you could do, but again, you got to dial your risk way back, because you'd have to endure price potentially drawing you all the way back down to here before it runs up. And you never know, maybe they get greedy and maybe they want to come under here, so you got to watch for that. But that's what I'm looking at, and that's going to be the next big trade. I think that's coming. They're going to run it up here, they're going to drop it, and then I'm going to get long in here. And trust me when I say, if you are part of the membership group getting instant trades, you are going to want to have that signal come across your phone when it happens, the day that it happens, because I'll be watching for that. So just so you know, if you are a member, that's what you'll get. You'll get those signals direct to your phone when they happen, and that's what I'm looking for long term. And again, my target is going to be this high in here. Now, don't forget, it's not like the price is just going to go straight up from here, bounce off here and go straight up. It's going to do this, it's going to chop around. It's probably going to take, a month to get up there. I mean, you got to look, the price made its high here January 25th, and it came all the way down and hit that low March 1st. So it took, over a month just to make this move happen down here. So I'd expect the same amount of time to get all the way back up. Anyway, that's the pound dollar. Just in case you were wondering, I'm just going to do a real quick 30 seconds brief look at the markets. The euro is really, in terms of a trade for tomorrow, the euro is really the only one that I like for a potential setup. Like I say, the pound dollar, not really giving me anything. The euro, they just scooped this price under here just by a pip, and I don't necessarily think that is going to be all that it's going to get. I think it's going to want to take more. So I might be interested in taking a long if price drops down into here. What would negate that fact is if price breaks this level in here. See this consolidation range? If price goes lower than that, and let's just get a perfect read on this. High 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's say 123.50. If price trades all the way down to here, I'd be interested to see if it wants to go any lower. If it goes lower than, whoops, Jesus, come on. What the fuck? I pushed the wrong button, that would be why. 123.50. If price goes lower than 123.30, I would not want to be in a trade. So that's not too bad, a 20 pip stop. Not too bad. I don't even think it'd have to, like I say, I don't even know if that price would get down to 123.50. If it does get down to 123.50, I would be very hesitant to get long, and if it goes to here, then all bets are off. It's going lower. It's not going to go higher. So just in case, this is kind of the warning zone, and this is the kill the trade, or do not think about executing the trade zone if price hits down to there. But again, I'm looking for price to come up to here for sure. So that would be the first real target, 1,424.50, call it. No, that's not the target I'm looking for. It's higher than that. It's 124.75. Or actually, I like 124.70 better. That's the target I'm looking for. Again, now if they want to go higher than that, I mean that's possible, obviously. But 124.70, 124.70. That's the level I'm looking at. So if we can get a long down here and then a target's up to there, let's say, I don't know, price comes down here and just basically, see these lows back here? That's interesting, actually. See these lows right here? The price did this railroad swing back there. That would be an interesting area. I could see price coming down, tagging that, and then running higher. That would be 100 pips on the day. That would be a nice sort of target. bear in mind, this could be the high, and maybe they'll just start dropping it lower. Again, these two levels here will be what are going to negate any trade going long. If they break here, I'm not going long because it's going to go short. Now, the other option too, right, they could just run price straight from here up. But I think this level is going to get hit one way or another into Thursday's trading. So we'll watch for that. If I'm going to watch this, and again, if I see price reacting down here, I'm going to get long, and I'll put the signal out. So you can watch for that. And that's about it, guys. I don't want to be on here too long. There's really not a whole lot to talk about. US CAD, right, like I said again, who knows what this thing's going to do. I think it's going to drive lower, though, before it goes higher. And these areas right here, I think are going to get taken, but they could want to come much, much lower. They may want to come down and just erase all this stuff in here and come up and tag on those lows. That would be quite a bit. That would be quite a, 100 pip reversal, and then go long. And if it does that, I'll be getting long. I don't want to short this pair, right? You gotta look. I mean, I'm not going to short the US CAD because of this. I mean, that's a pretty big bullish price movement there. You don't want to short that. This one here, again, looking at some fairly similar bullish, more consolidating patterns, but I don't necessarily want to go short just because of this last week in here. Fairly bullish. But side note, guys, just so you know, if price does not come down here, if price does not try to break this low or come down in this area in any way, shape, or form and just go straight higher, don't get long, because probably they are going to run this area here. Remember what I said, one of these two areas is going to get hit, if not both. They're probably just going to run this area up and then drop it. So just keep that in mind if that happens. But US CAD, there's nothing on US CAD that I'm going to look at. Price, like I say, there's lots of news coming out, but I think it's just going to be weighing too heavy on the market here. And this is a bit of consolidation range. Don't really like to trade it. So we'll watch price on there. UJ, nothing here that well, you know what? There is something here. UJ has been actually quite bullish, and they've actually kind of started to come off that bullish standpoint a little bit. Let me just look at this. Took the lows, ran it back up, came back in this consolidation area, the lows in here, came back down, failed to go lower, ran back up, and now they're trading softer. Watch this area right here. I'm not going to put a signal for UJ or anything like that, but watch this area right here. You may see a reaction at this level. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Other than this, I think this could be a good level, a good target for UJ. Now again, I'm not suggesting that this is going to go higher and we're going to start coming up into here or anything like that. I think we are going to go lower on this pair. And I don't like to go opposite of via the trend, but this was a nice failure swing right in here. And if it fails one more time, then that could be a good short-term target on UJ. And it's a little under 100 pips. That would be a great target. If you're a UJ trader, I'm not really, but I'll watch that. Not necessarily gonna. There is some news too on the yen. Some big news. Policy rate, monetary statement. Tomorrow, you know what? I would stay out of this pair. Forget I even said anything. There's some big news that could fluctuate price, so I wouldn't even touch the yen. That's pretty much all I sort of wanted to discuss. Oil's not really doing anything other than oops. Sorry guys, 1 second. It's grabbing charts all over the place here. That's what I was looking for. Just gotta switch a few screens up here. Yeah, okay. That's good there. Not much there I want to talk about. Not much on these commodities, in my opinion. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, guys. Let's take a quick look here. I didn't get a pullback down here that I wanted to see, unfortunately. Price skyrocketed, and that drives me crazy. They haven't got that high yet, though. That's what they're going for. They're going to take that high out. Interesting. This cotton might prove to be an interesting trade. If price starts to kind of come into here just a little bit, I might be looking for entry. Small, no real risk associated with it. But and I don't know if any of you guys have the option to trade cotton or not. But this is interesting. 28, 30, no, it's too high. 128 even. Yeah, that's interesting there. I'm going to watch that one here. I think this evening I'm going to end this session here in about 2 minutes, but that's interesting. See if price wants to come down to there and potentially react. We may want to come a bit lower, but you know, there's some areas. No, there's these areas down here that I'd like, but they never got to. I don't think they're gonna come back down to there anytime soon. But see how price is coming down here. It may want to trade higher from there, so I'm gonna watch that. But anyway, there's two I'm watching: the Euro USD, and then I'm gonna watch this cotton here, just because I saw it right now. Might not be anything, so don't get too excited on it. This is probably gonna come down and fill this gap in right here. And corn hasn't really done nothing except run higher without me, unfortunately. So that's it. I'm done for the night, I think, guys. Appreciate your time. If you are part of the membership group, you will be getting some signals potentially if price is favorable and comes down to the entry point for the euro. And I'll be watching US CAD a little bit, but I won't be doing too much on it, just kind of right before news happens. And I'm going to take a look at this corn, this cotton trade here, because that's kind of interesting as well too. Might see a bit of a bounce on there, so we might take part in that. But anyway, that's it. That's all. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Remember, don't be trading on Friday because it could be very, very ugly, and you don't want to be part of that. So with that, I wish you good luck, everybody. Have a great Thursday, and we will catch up to you. There might be a Thursday morning session. Dave may want to trade that. Sorry, not trade it. He may want to do some analysis on it and do some study on it. So just bear that in mind. If we do have a live session, there won't be any trades on it until after non-farm, if that's even the case. But we'll probably do a live session on Friday as well too, so you can look forward to that. So we will catch you then. Thanks very much. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you then.